Topic is urinary bladder. In the picture you can see the urinary bladder with its surfaces and the structures entering it and the structures emerging out, that is urethra. Urinary bladder is a reservoir. When the bladder is empty, it lies entirely in the lesser pelvis. When it distends, it expands anterosuperior into the abdominal cavity. An empty bladder is tetrahedral in shape. It has a base, neck, apex, and a superior and two infralateral surfaces. Base of the bladder is triangular. In females, it is closely related to anterior vaginal wall. In males, it is related to rectum, separated above from rectovesical pouch, below by seminal vesicle, vas differens on each side, and Denon Villiers fascia. Neck. The neck is the most fixed, lies inferiorly, 4 centimeters behind the lower part of pubic symphysis. Bladder neck is the internal urethral orifice. In males, it rests on the base of the prostate. Apex. Apex faces forwards in the upper part of pubic symphysis. It is continuous with the median umbilical ligament, also called as urachus. It ascends behind the anterior abdominal wall to the umbilicus. Relations. Anteriorly related to fat in the retropubic space. In males, each infralateral surface is related to pubis and puboprostatic ligaments. In females, the relations are similar, that is pubis and pubovesical ligaments. Superior surface in male is completely covered by peritoneum and it is in contact with sigmoid colon and terminal coils of ileum. In females, you can see in the picture, in females, the peritoneum is reflected onto the uterus at the level of internal os, that is the junction of the uterine body with the cervix, to form the vesico-uterine pouch. Posterior part of superior surface is devoid of peritoneum. It is related to supravaginal cervix. At birth, the bladder is higher because the true pelvis is shallow in children. The bladder is then abdominal. Urine sample may therefore be obtained in children by performing suprapubic needle puncture. The bladder progressively descends with growth and reaches the adult position shortly after puberty. Apex of the bladder. The apex of the bladder is connected to the umbilicus by the remains of urachus. It forms median umbilical ligament. It usually maintains a lumen, rarely complicated by urachal cyst, sinus or fistula. The bladder interior is shown in this picture. You can see the trigone and the openings of the ureter and the internal urethral orifice. Bladder interior. Mucosa of the bladder folds when empty. Folds are stretched out flat as it fills. Over the trigone mucosa, it is adherent. Inferior angle of the trigone is formed by internal urethral orifice. Lateral angles have the openings of ureteric orifices. Interureteric bar connects the two ureteric orifices. At cystoscopy, the interureteric crest appears as a pale band. It is a guide to ureteric orifices. Trigone. The muscle of the trigone consists of two layers, termed superficial and deep. Deep layer is the detrusal muscle proper. Superficial trigonal muscle is composed of muscle bundles that are continuous with ureters. Vascular supply. The bladder is supplied by superior and inferior vesical arteries, supplemented by obturator and inferior gluteal arteries. In females, additional branches are derived from uterine and vaginal arteries. Lymphatic drainage and venous drainage. The veins which drain the bladder form a plexus on the inferior surfaces, pass backwards in the lateral ligaments of the bladder to end in the internal iliac veins. Lymphatics end in the external iliac lymph nodes. Nerve supply. Parasympathetic fibers arise from S2 to S4. Sympathetic fibers are derived from T10 to L2 from celiac and mesenteric plexus, from which hypogastric plexus descend into the pelvis. Detrusor muscle is supplied by parasympathetic, internal sphincter is supplied by sympathetic, and the external sphincter is supplied by somatic nerve. Then neurological basis of automatic bladder. The term spinal shock was first used by Marshall Hall in 1843. Munro in 1937 has defined it as the condition which, when caused by spinal injury of any type, produces suppression or alteration of the segmental reflex activity below the level of the cord injury. Immediately after the injury, the condition is known as atonic neurogenic bladder. In this condition, the bladder becomes distended and the paralytic overflow incontinence ensues. This phase lasts from days to weeks or even months. As the patient gradually recovers from his spinal shock, he passes into one of the two other categories depending upon the level of injury. Automatic bladder. This condition is called reflex bladder. It occurs when the injury has occurred above the center of micturition, which has remained unaffected. The patient has no control over micturition, which occurs at intervals of up to 3 to 4 hours. Several ounces of urine are forcibly evacuated, the amount of residual urine varying from case to case. Autonomous bladder. When the spinal injury has involved the center of the micturition, this type of bladder is to be expected. There is continual dribbling from the bladder, which may be partly emptied by manual compression of the abdomen. Residual urine and secondary dilatation of the ureters due to back pressure are common. Thank you.